Hello guys, welcome to my bonsai dream. I'm Mauro Stemberger and today I will be doing a demo for BonsaiKunstHamburg. I'm gonna work a deciduous tree. So normally you see me working a lot of conifer, but I also love to work on deciduous tree. Now we are off season, is early summer, but is a good window of time to work on deciduous because we can defoliate them, restyle, rewire, and eventually, if it's necessary, we can also repot. So let's see the tree I'm gonna work for this demonstration, and then let's start the work. Thank you. And here we are with the tree we're gonna be working today. Is a very beautiful Carpinus orientalis collected in south of Italy. A beautiful species for bonsai, very strong, very earthy, always reply very well to every kind of work we're gonna do on it, and it has a beautiful already small leaves. Carpinus orientalis, it lives in the southern part of Italy and also is very popular in Croatia. Actually, last winter I was collecting some of these beautiful Carpinus in Istria together with a friend. The best period to collect them is in winter, and then we have to keep in a greenhouse, and they are so strong that almost every one of them will make it in spring. This tree was collected probably 2 or 3 years ago. Just let it grow, it has good extension, and it's time to style the tree. So because I got recently the tree and I have to work on it for a client, this is a good time to work on the deciduous tree. So summer, early summer, when the temperatures are still reasonable, we still have in my place very fresh nights and then nice and sunny days with a good amount of humidity, is the perfect time to perform defoliation on the deciduous tree. So every year doing the defoliation in this period is like having 2 years, and so we speed up the process of maturing the tree, because defoliating the tree will remove all the leaves and is almost acting as it is again winter and spring again. So the tree is using all the energy it has after the first flash of spring to regrow again and create more ramification. So either if we want to create length and thickness on the branches, or we want to get our trees mature, so the tree has already a good structure and we want to increase the amount on the fine branches, we can perform defoliation and we can keep building the maturity and the good ramification of the tree. So Now what I want to do is to remove all the foliage of the tree, all the leaves, have a look at the structure, have a look at the possible front, the angles, all the opportunity and the possibility that I have to create a beautiful bonsai with this little bush that now we don't see anything apart a little bit of the nice little trunk, but we want to see everything in detail after the foliation. So with the help of my two students, Rudy and William, we're gonna take the leaves off and then we will analyze the tree and we'll make decisions. We just finished the defoliation of the tree and we was looking around to change the angle of the tree and start the process of thinking which one will be the best front line. So we look at the tree from what was probably the old back of the tree, where we have a very nice taper from the base up to this main line of the trunk. Another beautiful line, very natural for a deciduous tree in this position, and the nice branch going down in cascade. Rather than this front, where yes, the branches are in a good position, but I feel we focus too much the attention of the lower part of the trunk, where the taper is not the best, and I feel all the branches come from the same position. They have the same amount of interest. I want always, when I look at the tree, even a deciduous tree where everything comes from the same spot and I have to open up, I want to always recognize the trunk line. So I feel that much better for the other front. So we're gonna pick the other front, but because the new angle, as I said, we wanna repot the tree. Is not a problem now to just move this to a new container, a new bonsai pot, set the exact angle and front we wanna work the tree, and then do the cleaning and the wiring of everything. So this is the front we pick. So you see we have a beautiful transition between the base, very nice and strong, the line of the apex, the line on the lower branches, and the side line going up, very nice and typical of the deciduous tree. So I want to just get rid of this branch because it's crossing over and it's too young, so I can get a better transition in the lower part. We're gonna clean this part and a lot of the other part from all the branches that were removed, and then we're gonna repot the tree in the new angle before we get everything nice and wild. When we clean branches on a deciduous, it's very important to recreate the taper of the branches by pruning the strong parts, so we can redirect the taper up to a finer section of the branch, and this will help to have much better branches on our trees, and especially because on the deciduous we always appreciate the trees in the winter silhouette. We want to have the cleanest lines possible, because this is a Yamadori and it will always have some defect, but doing this operation we can get much better ramification and much better taper. Now we take care of removing the original soil from the roots, so we free the root ball without pruning anything, just to create space and be able to put the tree in the first bonsai pot. We have this beautiful John Pitt bonsai pot. This is the first option. A nice oval pot with good fit and a nice glaze. I like the combination. A little bit the oval probably not match with the long left branch on the tree, and we need a little bit of a high because we want to inclinate more the tree down to the left eventually, so probably this pot is a little bit too shallow. Let's go with the next pot. Is a beautiful tokoname pot, beautiful nice blue glaze. The pot I think match nicely with the tree. We have a good combination between the lip of the pot and the shape of the round pot, with the long branch going down to the left. So for now this is my pick. Now we want to have another choice, another very nice John Pitt pot, a little bit smaller than the other one, is not a problem, but probably is too small for the tree, and we risk that with the overall weight and the balance of the tree to the left will never be very stable. So we gonna go back with the second option, and we're gonna use this nice Japanese pot that in my opinion is the best one for the tree. What we're gonna do now, we prepare a mix of 70% Akadama, 30% pomace, and I will add a part of fertilizer to the mix, and then we set the tree into the new pot, secure it, and then we can work a little bit on the foliage with some wiring. very important to secure well the tree to the pot. So we anchor to a frontal root, nice, with our aluminium wire, and we secure the tree. We retight also the back. We retight the back, and now the tree is in the perfect position, ready to fill the pot with the new soil. Okay, so now we have the tree sit in the new pot. I'm very happy about the combination, the angle, how the two trunks, actually the three trunks start, and everything coming forward and opening up a nice angle through the viewer. We have a lot of nice branches we have to wire, so the next step will be wiring. But before that, I want to remove this air root that I kept for the repotting, but now looking at the tree I feel is a little bit uncomfortable. It's not a problem to remove, it's connected to an area that was chopped off probably when the tree was collected. So I will remove this part and put in evidence the root it has in the back. Put some cut paste where we remove some of the area to recreate a nice taper of the branches, and then we're gonna start wiring everything and setting the new position of the branches. We start wiring from the lower branches, and we only wire the branches that we need to move. So it's not a 100% wiring, just the necessary parts. So we anchor well the wire, two direction, clockwise now, out to the main line of the branch, until the wire will look too thick. Normally with aluminium we use 1/3 of the size of the branch, because aluminium has a little bit less strength, and here counterclockwise out to this branch, always trying to wire over a part that the branch splits, so we have a good anchor for the next fine wire. In this phase of the work, we want to get all the strong line wired, so we can position either some of the secondary lines. The structure is pretty much in position already. I like the natural look how the structure is, especially with the new front and angle, but all the new shoots from spring and some of the branches we need to a little bit reposition to give a nice natural look to the tree, especially in the lower part where a little bit now everything is flat. We want to lift up some of the branches and create rather than pads as we do on conifers, we want to create clouds, very nice and natural, for a perfect look of a deciduous tree. When we work in group, I like that every one of us will take care of an area of the tree, starting from inside and wiring outside all the branches that need a little piece of wire, and slowly 2 by 2 get all the line wired. and everyone can have his area and work with not obstruction to the other helpers. So now all the tree is wired, the front is set, so I will start giving shape to the lower branches and work my way up to the top. So it's important to use these long lines and create beautiful and natural branches. The lower long lines normally I use to create the final taper of the branches, waving them up and down, while the inner lines I use to create a nice volume. As I said, I don't want to create flat pads as I do for a deciduous, for a conifer. I want to create nice clouds as it happened on a nice and old deciduous. So these lines will move up, and then after creating the idea of the volume I want to create, I will prune the extension, leaving just the parts I want. So start working here, and now I can start pruning these lines a bit and creating the idea of the volume I will obtain when the tree will flash out, and it will keep building these nice little clouds. Some branches also pointing the front. I don't want to see all the line, but I want also some green to cross over on the structural branches flowing into the cascading. Here I need a little guide wire, so a little copper 0.5 guide wire, so I can push down and forward this line like this. For example, let me see here, we can get a good anchor on that. Yeah. Again, because this is a deciduous, I want to have tighter spaces between the different areas of the tree. I don't want to leave big spaces, but I want to get a continuous between the different areas with all the branches following more or less the direction outside and creating my beautiful silhouette like this. And I always go and recheck the positions from the front. And now that this area is done, I can work in the back. What I want to do is move this branch in this position so I can create a nice depth and move out this branch from the underneath of this area and create now this and work on this volume. Again, starting from the lower lines, always creating different height. I don't want to have everything at the same height, but I want everything to come in a different position. Questo è il filo fine, quello da legatura fine. If I find a couple of little branches I want to position and they are not wired, I can just put a little piece of wire and again move them out, thinking always that when a branch start developing, always find the easiest way to go towards the sunlight. So I will never bring a branch from this position and face the inner part of the tree, because in nature that branch that will eventually start developing, it will die straight away. The only lines I want to build are the lines going out and searching sunlight, always thinking that the branches want to get to the sun as fast as possible. When I position the branch, as you see, I use all my finger. This will help me to create nice and beautiful wavy lines, because I can manipulate the branch in different points and try to get a nice and natural look. Some of the branches I can keep a little bit more length eventually, and then when all the tree will be finished, I can go back and check on their position. I love these natural lines with good taper coming from a main branch, going down, up, down again, and then finishing up with the finer branches. And this will really give me a beautiful and natural look to the different areas and the different part of the structure of the tree. Love this area. Okay, so good connection with the main branch, and now I can move to the right part of the tree. Here I want to use some of the upper branches to go down and then wave them up again, because I want to start covering a little bit the base of the tree. This is an interesting branch. Same story, up and down in different heights. Here we are. When I switch my work between conifer, that I definitely love, but I also love to work on the cedar tree, is like changing the chip of my brain and always thinking different. I don't want any geometrical line. The geometry, in my opinion, on the cedar tree is forbidden. We want to be as natural as possible, and always remind with the shape we give to the tree how the tree will look in nature. On conifer, because they tend also in nature to be a little bit more geometric, we can emphasize that geometry and reach certain type of definition of the shape and the position of the branches. But on a conifer like this, if I will create something too much straight or too much precise, it will look completely off the shape of this tree. So I want to move everything and create beautiful lines. Now that the lower left and right lines are more or less set, I want to solve the last little problem of the tree, that is this parallelism between the two apex of the plant. As I said, I don't like geometry, so these two lines, even if they are so different in size, in thickness, they are very parallel, especially in this area. So what I want to do, I want to put a guide wire between them and squish them together to have the effect of two lines that were almost going against the other, and then they have to reopen to be able to leave. So we're gonna create an anchor and a guide wire between them and try to tie them up as much as we can. So this is the area I want to solve. This line and this line too much parallel going up, so we're gonna put the guide wire from one side, going from the thicker trunk to the small one. We put a little plastic tube side by side, and we create the anchor so we can tie those two lines together. We have to fix it very well in the two position, get it nice and tight, perfect. And then now we're gonna work with a clamp and get the two parts close together. Now that the structure in the apex is set, I can take my time and finish up the nice round apex for the tree, even more than the lower part. Here all the lines they have to move and go up. If there is any line whipping down, I can eventually wire or prune it away. Now that the tree got wired and positioned, you can stay wired until the end of the season, because generally the second flash going towards summer is less strong than the first flash of spring, so the tree will mostly produce thinner lines rather than thick long lines, so we can create more volume. And then at the end of the season we can remove all the wire. I'm pretty confident at that time all the branches will perfectly stay in position. So we can remove the wire, and the tree will not be wire anymore, and will be just a process of clip and grow. I like the fact of having these two apexes, one side the other. Give a beautiful natural look. This is something that naturally happen to some deciduous, especially a tree like this. This is a sort of a little bit dramatic style, kind of a half cascading style. It's beautiful to have these two lines and then the big branches going down, imaging this tree on the side of a cliff. Okay, just the last touch up. I wanna push down a little bit more this line to create movement. We have to think that also some of these lines to hold the weight of the foliage, they eventually can move a little bit down. So, and now the last check for the different length, and the work will be finished. And here we are with the final result. I think the tree speaks by itself. It's very natural, beautiful movement. I'm very happy about this final result. We almost start from scratch and get a bonsai tonight. I'm not about speeding up the process, but when you control all the technique and the agricultural of the trees, and you know exactly the timing and the preparation for the material, you can get faster at a good result. Now I'm gonna keep the tree in shade for the next 2 weeks until it will flesh out again and mature the new leaves, and then slowly I will bring the tree in full sun and it can keep maturing. Eventually, if some part will get too strong, I will push them back, just pruning, and then, as I said, at the end of the season we will recheck on the wiring. We don't want to have any wire marks on the branches, and we want to keep just the tree maturing. Probably, as I said, I put already some fertilizer in the pot, so we will not need to fertilize now during summer. I will give a nice fertilization before autumn, so the tree can get energy for next spring, and then in winter we will refurbish a little bit more the design and eventually remove all the wire. Thank you so much again for watching this video. Thank you so much BonsaiKunstHamburg, and thank you to my two assistants, Rudy and William. I hope to see you again. Thank you again. Ciao.